Hi everyone. Yes, we can begin with the webinar for today. We have Robin Kellett with us from SkyKick, and he's been working with SkyKick for around 2 years now. And I will pass the ball to Robin now, and he'll take you through the deck which he has presented. And we have the deck under the handout section as well, so the partners can quickly go to the handout section and download the deck for yourself, and you can go through the deck while Robin runs through it.
Thank you, Rajvinder. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Robin Kellett, and I, as Rajvinder has been saying, I work for SkyKick, and today I'm going to talk about the challenges in Office 365 migration and how we, via our partner Ingram Micro, can actually help you make those easier, more predictable, and more profitable. There's a lot of opportunity in Office 365 right now, and there's a lot of investments that Microsoft has made to make the product more and more appealing. But a migration project, as those of you who've tried to do them, that can be quite challenging. Today I'm going to show you how SkyKick can help you with that, and talk about some of the benefits of using our tool to deliver better experiences to your customers. So I'm just going to move on to an introductory slide just about SkyKick. You may or may not have heard of us. We're based in Seattle, although we have offices across the globe. We are partner only, so we provide a tool set to our partners. You have to be a Microsoft partner to use SkyKick, and we specialize in 3 core areas. Firstly, migration, helping you move your customers profitably and easy to Office 365. That's one-time revenue, and that'll be the main focus of today. But we have 2 other products as well. Backup. Microsoft doesn't really provide a backup for Office 365, so we have a great tool that allows you to make repeat revenue and help your customers have data security for Office 365 on an ongoing basis. We're also introducing a management tool allowing you to manage your customers' implementations across a range of different services, starting with Office 365 and Dropbox. And those latter 2 services are repeatable revenue. Today I'm really going to focus on migration, and if we have time, I'm going to cover backup as well. Now, I mentioned that we're available only via partners, but we're also partner branded. So you can present the tools I'm going to show you today, not as SkyKick, but as your services. And because you're partners of Ingram Micro, you actually get a better deal. So Ingram have negotiated a really great deal with us, enabling you to consume SkyKick at a discount. I'll talk about pricing a little bit later in this PowerPoint. Now, very importantly, SkyKick provides 24-hour by 5 phone and email support. We have a great team of support people. The lights never go out during the week in our Seattle office, and they're there to take your call. They're there to help you look great in front of your customer. And we can actually, depending on the Ingram marketplace, I don't believe across Middle East and Africa yet, but in certain markets you can actually consume SkyKick services via the Ingram Micro marketplace. Now, a few things about SkyKick itself. The first thing is that SkyKick was chosen by Microsoft to enable partners who weren't using Office 365 internally but who have the right to use it, to offer those partners a free internal migration to Office 365. So you can use our service to migrate yourself free of charge if you wish to do so. And that's not for customers, that's for you. We've also got extensive experience of working at Microsoft. I'll talk a bit more about that as we go forward. We've won a number of awards from Microsoft, and we have a very close relationship with them. In fact, our technology is almost completely Microsoft-based in any case. So moving on, we have, as I mentioned, offices in a variety of different locations. We're at 5 different locations across the globe today. There'll be more soon. Our principal and your principal contact, her name is Catherine Sedukas. She's actually on holiday this week. I'm just covering for her. She's based in the Netherlands, which will be our EMEA HQ very soon. But we're based in Seattle, but as I say, we have multiple offices and a really strong time zone support. Just here in the Middle East and Africa, though, and I mentioned that we have a Microsoft track record, between the 5 of us who work here in Middle East and Africa, we have actually more than 40 years experience working at Microsoft. So we understand Microsoft really well, and our tool is designed to help you really solve for what Microsoft's doing with Office 365. Whether it's CSP or Open or Advisor, we can take care of all of those things. We can take care of a lot of your pain. We can help you focus on adding workloads. We can help you deliver and actually help you look great in front of Microsoft as well. Now, I've mentioned some of these things before, but just to explain why they kind of slot into the challenges, we're very much partner-led. We survey our partners at the end of every migration we do, and we actually listen to our partners all the time about what they would like, and if they get a good idea, then our CEO will actually ask our product management team to go and build that. So we're constantly improving. So migration is a significant challenge. You can find that on an SMB project, if you're doing it manually, you can spend 40 hours or more, even on a standard SMB project, sometimes having to send engineers out to the customer. Sometimes, you know, having to burn a huge amount of time and lose money on a project. And that's not really fair for you. Your businesses, you need to make money. We help you reduce that pain. I'm going to pause on backup and management just because of time, because we have a lot to cover today. And I'm going to go deep dive into our Migration Suites product. So Cloud Migration Suite, as its implication, has a number of different applications which work together seamlessly to enable you to deliver a great experience for your customer. So the first part of our application, I will go through this end-to-end in a minute, is our Migration Planner. So this is actually a sales, pre-sales, and consultant tool all in one. And it helps you work with the customer to discover what they really have, to configure it, and to set the migration going. It's very, very flexible. It's highly automated. Underneath that, we have a migration engine, which works in Azure, by the way, which allows you to control the syncs and will help you get the data into the Office 365 cloud, typically with zero downtime. On the desktop end, we have a very innovative desktop agent called the Outlook Assistant. The Outlook Assistant will effectively negate the need for you to go out on site often, because it will diagnose what version of Office the end user is running. It will auto-patch those machines if that version of Office is actually compatible with Office 365. It will even migrate certain elements of the local files. So it will reconnect PSTs. It will migrate the 2K files so that autocomplete entries are smoothly moved into the Office 365 cloud. And it will flip the profiles, automatically connecting end users to Office 365, meaning you don't actually have to do anything on the desktop. And then supervising all these elements is the single manager that allows you to see multiple migrations running at any time with very clever but simple alerts so you can see if anything is causing an issue. And of course, we have our support team underneath. We do monitor migrations. If we see issues, we will proactively contact you in any case. Now, I mentioned that the typical migration project, we've done many of these. I don't know how many of you on the phone have actually done migration projects. It looks like we have 30 people here today. But we can find that typically, when we've done tens of thousands of projects, our partners tell us when they're doing it manually, it's a typical SMB project, for example, up to 50 seats. The average is about 40 hours work. It's about a week's work. That's not profitable. Then that process goes through the sales process, the host to registrar discovery, what the customer's actually got, then deciding what you do with it, assigning licenses, any client-side work per PC, very painful, server-side work, managing DNS, keeping an eye on it, nights and weekends sometimes, not fun. telling users what they're supposed to do, or telling them what's going to happen, and of course getting those Outlook profiles set up, about 40 hours work. Now, typically, our partners tell us for those SMB projects they can slash the amount of time they spend from 40 hours down to 4 hours or less. Now that's very important because Office 365 is going through an inflection point right now. Microsoft is shutting down or merging or removing incentives for all the other competing mail platforms that it has. For those of you who remember Hotmail, Hotmail runs on Office 365 now. For those of you in the hosted exchange business, you'll know that Microsoft is pushing very hard for hosters to move to Office 365. For those who remember SBS, well, there's not been a new version of SBS since 2011. For those of you considering Google, I think it's fair to ask what actually has changed in Google in the last 5 years. It seems very apparent from our experience that, and from what our partners tell us, that Office 365 is the horse to follow. It's the one you want to be riding. And customers are increasingly seeing that as well. So there's a huge amount of opportunity, but it means you need to automate. Doing it manually will be very painful for you. So we can help automate that process. What can we migrate? Well, of course we can do Exchange. We can go from 2003 to 2013, and we have a huge variety of different things that we can move. As you can see, it's extremely complete against all those different facets, not just the server-side stuff, but also the end-user desktop stuff, the stuff that really matters to the end user. But we can also do Small Business Server. We can do Google migrations, POP migrations, and even IMAP migrations. We can even do Office 365 to Office 365 migrations, which might sound a little strange to you for those of you who haven't done them, but I promise you those will come up for you very soon if you haven't had one yet. And for those of you who've done them, you'll know they are challenging. We can really help with those as well. Now, there are a bunch of challenges that you can face as a partner working with customers. We can actually help you address those. So you can have vast amounts of data in a particular mail system, like a mail system where a customer is actually using it as a vault. We don't have any data limits, so it's actually very easy with SkyKick. It's a known quantity. Accounts that the customer's forgotten about. Right. It's very, very common that a customer won't actually know how many mails accounts they actually have. They might not have public folders and stuff. They might have shared mailboxes. It would help you discover all of those before you've even said yes to the project, so that you can get on the same page with the customer before you even say yes. Custom things. They might want distribution lists. They might want mailboxes moved around. I'll show you some of the very cool things that SkyKick can help you do. In some ways, we like our partners to think about the consultancy approach with their customers and SkyKick enabling to do more consultancy, not less, but in a really fun way. So you can do distribution lists. You can help them make their email systems fit for the second decade of the 21st century. Multiple physical locations. So there can be huge amounts of issues of getting resource out to see customers. Sometimes long journeys. Sometimes can be very unprofitable for you. Multiple domains. We can handle them all. And of course, can you do it? So we can actually, of course, help you with a variety of different platforms as we go. Also from a bandwidth perspective as well. Many of the partners we talk to are extremely busy. We help you make more time with the same amount of resource. So you can do more with less, and your people doing the projects will be happier. Now, key point, it's very easy to use, and using our tool to do discovery on the customer's environment is actually completely free. So, I've talked a fair amount. Why don't we have a look at what SkyKick can do? So I'm just going to switch to my browser. I'm just going to check, Rajvinder, can you tell me, can you see my browser, please?
Yes, Robin, I can see your browser.
Thanks very much. So here I am logged into SkyKick, except it's not SkyKick, because as I mentioned at the top of the call, SkyKick is not a customer brand. Here you can see it's called Acme Tech. So this is a partner's brand. Now, I have a variety of different projects I can kick off using SkyKick. Our suites approach, which I mentioned earlier, is for SMB or enterprise. Now, those are priced exactly the same. It just depends on the complexity of the environment that you want to migrate. Enterprise has a few more features, but today I'm going to do an end-to-end SMB project. We also have data only, which is a less featured version of SkyKick. It's cheaper and it's suitable for certain environments, and particularly schools and colleges, that sort of stuff, where budgets are tight. But SMB is a really cool service, and we'll just go through this now. So I'm going to say that, first of all, I'm a salesperson, and I'm going to use SkyKick to find out what the customer's actually got before handing over to my technical people in order to actually configure and place the order. The first thing I need to do in the SkyKick user experience is type in an email address. This is the email address of my point of contact at the customer. So that's what I have to do, and I hit the next step. Now, what we're going to do is do an initial sniff, if you like, of the email system. We're going to find out a bit of information about that customer. As you see, very quickly, we found some really important information here. So we found out that this customer is running Exchange 2010. We've actually got the service pack and the roll-up ID as well, and we've actually also found the registrar of the domain as well. It's actually, in this instance, it's GoDaddy. Now, that's actually pretty useful. It helps you determine what the customer is running in and give you some authority straight away. But what we really need to do is find out what the customer's actually got. So to do that, what I need is a single email address and password on the domain. So I'm just trying slightly incompetently to copy a password here. There we are. So I'm going to type that in there. Now, that username and password does not have to be an admin. It can be an ordinary user. It can be a blank mailbox that the customer creates for you. It doesn't contain any data that enables you to look up what the customer has got. So that's all you actually need to type in typically to do a SkyKick discovery and migration if you wish to do so. So it just takes a second or two connecting to the system on the other side of the world. And I would point out that this screen is dynamic. So on this screen today we've got an Exchange server. If we detect, for example, a Google source system, then we see a very different UI, and our UI will adapt in an intelligent way depending on what that source system is to help you process the migration as quickly and as efficiently as possible. Now, you'll notice I've typed in some customer point of contact information. I've got some things I've discovered in addition to while I was doing that connection to the source system. So I found out it's on-prem Exchange, CWS, and I've actually got the URI of the data, so I actually know where it's stored. I'm authenticated against that source system. I could save it if I wish to do so, but I'm actually going to move on to the next step. Now, logically, the next step, and you can see where I am in my project because we have this breadcrumb trail at the top of the screen, is Office 365. Now, you may have the perfect customer. You may have a customer who knows exactly how many licenses they really need for Office 365. Give that customer a lot of love because they're very, very rare. In general, customers actually don't know how many mailboxes they have, and actually you will need to do some configuration to actually remove mailboxes from a migration. We make it easy to do that. Now, the point of that was that we can, if you like, apply a tenant at this point, the tenant that you've purchased from Ingram Micro. It's very easy. You type in the username and password of the admin for that tenant, and we'll recognize it, pull in the licenses for you to apply on the next screen. But today, what I need to do is actually find out how many licenses they've got. So I'm actually just going to connect using the advisor functionality we also have. We can support any model of Office 365. Now, we would recommend that you would use CSP, obviously. It's the most advanced form of billing, but we support Open, EA, Advisor, whichever model there is. So I'm just going to, there'll be some additional information on the screen which you won't normally do, but I'm going to use this functionality here to do what we call discovery, to find out what the customer has got. Now, while it's actually connecting to that source system, I want to stress a few things. The first thing is that everything I'm showing you today, if you don't place an order, is completely free. We don't charge you, nor does Ingram Micro. In fact, Ingram Micro will bill you at a preferential rate, and only once the migration is complete. So that's a very, very important point. The second thing is we never make any changes to the source system. So the data is safe. You can't break it, you can't damage it. It's completely safe. All we do is read, and then we configure for the future Office 365 tenant. We do not delete anything on the source system. The third thing to note is that you can save the project at any time. So you want to go back to it, save it an hour, come back to it an hour later, a week later, a month later, you're very welcome to do so. And then lastly, our support team are available free of charge for you to call or email during the working week. They'd be very, very happy to assist you. They love hearing from partners and helping them with migrations. So if you have any questions, then they're there to help you. Now, rather than asking my customer a bunch of questions they don't understand, or sending an engineer out to fiddle about with their source system, I've actually done a complete remote lookup of the Dubai Ice Cream Company's email system. It's not very hard. It's only taken me about 3 minutes to do. So my customer here told me that they had 30 mailboxes. Well, let's have a look, shall we? I can scroll down, and hopefully, as you can see here, they've actually got 52. That's such a common issue. This happens all the time. Our partners tell us all the time. Thing is, what's cool about this is you can go to your customer where you've got 52 mailboxes. And you can also go, what would you like to do with them? Because you said you had 30. What do we do with these 22? The good news is that SkyKick has a wealth of options allowing you to be creative with that data. We'll go through that in a minute. In addition, we also have public folders. We've discovered a public folder here, and we actually have this awesome alert functionality that tells you that we need to do something with this public folder. We need to add a user. So I'm going to do that now. Very, very easy to do. There we go, and that error is now dismissed. Haven't detected any other mailboxes. These would be shared or resource mailboxes, but I'm going to create one in just a second. And we've got all the distribution groups as well. So we've got the number of members. I can delete a distribution group if I want to, bearing in mind that doesn't delete it on the source system, it deletes it for the future Office 365 environment. Or I can add one. This is an ice cream company, so let's have flavors. There we go. And I've created a distribution group. And you'll notice I have a red alert error again. All I have to do is add some members. And of course I've discovered all the users, so I can just add some users. There we go. These are the people, the chefs in charge of the flavors. So I've created a distribution group for my customer. So it's really, really easy. I've also got the other domains here. And you'll notice down the bottom, this clever little link here. So I can export this now in Excel and send it to my customer and say, what would you like to do with all this stuff? This is your email system. Has not cost me any time. It's not cost me any money. But you're way ahead of your customer, and even better, you have a wealth of options that you can do, even in our SMB planner, which is not as featured as our enterprise planner, to enable you to do creative things with mailboxes. Let me give you an example. So we're here in Dubai. Alberto's an Italian. He's been in Dubai for 5 years, but he's actually left. He's gone back to Italy. Now, we have this thing here called Fancy Mode, which you can see. Fancy Mode allows me to do difficult things with mailboxes in a WYSIWYG format. Really, really easy. So we don't need Alberto's data, so we're going to remove the mailbox, do not migrate data, update. We've taken Alberto out of the migration. We haven't deleted his source mailbox, but we won't be moving anything into Office 365. It's that easy. And if you see down the bottom here, we've got 52 mailboxes, but we only require 51 licenses, so you can keep track of that really easily. Let's take a more complex scenario. Let's say Alice here, she was head of marketing for the Dubai Ice Cream Company. Now she's also left, but we actually want her data. We want other people to have access to her data. So there's a variety of different ways you could do it. I could migrate her data to a mailbox. I could forward it. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to make her mailbox a shared mailbox. And I'm going to add some people so they have access to that. So we clicked it there. She's now grayed out. I can scroll down the screen and you'll notice that we now have Alice appearing under other mailboxes. All I have to do is add some users. So I'm going to add Andy, and I'm going to add Elizabeth, and I'm going to add Gerard. There we go. So that's a shared mailbox set up in SkyKick. Incredibly easy to do. I can even do some of these cool things in bulk. So if I want to change domains, I can do that here. If I want to change the mail formats for everyone, so it's all consistent, I can do that here. If I want to do those bulk fancy mode changes, delete a bunch of mailboxes or remove them, I can do that here too. This is an incredible amount of value. I like to think of this as you going to your customer saying you're going to move house. That's what a mail migration is a bit like. When you move house, you throw some things away. You're going to put some things in different places, and you will need some new things too. Let's get you sorted out. And it can, with a creative sales team, be really fun. That's our goal in SkyKick. Through our partnership with Ingram Micro, we want to help you make migrations fun, predictable, profitable, and help you have a huge amount more value for your customer. Now, let's say I've now configured my migration and I actually want to proceed. So on this screen here, I'm ready to actually set a date. And this is where certainly a salesperson would step away and a technical person would be involved. So we have a recommended date. That's the 14th. Okay. We're going to set it to local time. So hold on a second. I'm just going down to, there we go, UTC -3. And I've got some communications that SkyKick can send out to customers, but with your brand on. We're going to send some communications actually at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning so that customers have those communications. We'll talk about those a bit in the next screen. Having done that, we move on to the next step. Now again, this is more of a technical screen. It's a little bit messy at the moment, but we are improving this very soon. But it does a number of really cool things. The first thing is it enables you to determine how you want to submit the credentials to SkyKick, so we can actually access all the mailboxes. We have 3 different ways you can do that. The first one is that we can access all mailboxes with a single source-side impersonation mail account. The mail system has to be compatible for that. We automatically detect that. You can see this is the option here. Alternatively, we can actually access all mailboxes by end users submitting their credentials, or if you have access to them, you can actually bulk upload them to SkyKick. So you have a variety of different ways to do it. We also control, the second function of this screen is the Outlook Assistant. So I mentioned this does all the desktop end user configuration. 2 ways you can push it out. 1, you can have a pull model where the users download it and you can see who's done it and who hasn't. And you can use your point of contact to say that user hasn't done it, they're going to have a bad experience before the migration has gone ahead. Alternatively, and some companies may wish this and you may wish this, you can actually be very proactive and use group policy typically to push it out via the MSI. And that's actually what we're going to do for this particular project. With a variety of different languages that we support, the default here is English. And the third component for that is how are we going to communicate to the end users. Now you can switch them off if you wish to do so and send your own communications, but we do have some default ones, an example of which is shown here, and it's partner branded, automatically populated, and has a bunch of information from Microsoft as well about the benefits of Office 365. And we use this to help the users understand what's going to happen. completely automated. You don't have to do anything if you select to send that. You don't have to, but we do recommend that you do. And there's 4 communications which go out during the course of the migration at specific times. So credentials are, if you choose to do that, hey, we're doing the migration, you'll need to submit your password here. If you choose to do that, so it's smart. File instruction, well, we're switching over later today. Here's what to expect. Switching now, very simple email, which is we're just switching over the mail system. You need to restart Outlook. I call that informally the go get a cup of tea email. And then everything's done. Thanks very much for working with us. And again, us is not SkyKick. Us is you. So it's partner branded. So having done that, I'm now going to move on to the second last screen in setting up a SkyKick order. And this takes a moment or so to come up because I've set a number of different configuration settings here within the user experience. So if you excuse me, I've been talking for a moment or two. I'm just going to have a quick sip of water. So on this next screen, which is just coming up now, is DNS. We can actually automate DNS for you. We have a variety of different options. Again, this screen is completely dynamic, but for the global registrars, we can actually fully automate DNS if you can give us the admin username and password with 0 downtime. If you can't, if this doesn't appear, never fear, we can still help you. So you could do it manually if you want to, but that has significant risks to the side of it. And I'd only use that if you really want to do some additional work. You can use partially automated. So to ensure mail flow, you can actually move the name service to SkyKick, and we have a full DNS manager, as you can see on the left-hand side here, where you can put all those entries in. You can move the name service to SkyKick during the migration. That will ensure efficient mail flow and 0 downtime. So that's always kept up to date, and then move them out about a week after the migration is complete. So you would need to sign that there so that our partners find it's extremely helpful. Though I could fully automate it here, I'm going to use the partially automated option just so you can see. Again, I can save the project. Even up to this point, it's completely free. In fact, even up to the next screen, it's completely free. And on this next screen here, we have a project review. So you can see everything we've done. We've made no changes to the source system. It's all free, it's all fully supported, and it's all savable. I can save it now if I want to do so. I can get that report about what the customer's got, including my changes, if I wish to do so. I can see the dates when I'm going to install things. I can see the number of mailboxes being moved. I can add throttling. So let's say the customer's got need to have their mail system certain things. They need to have throttle overnight, for example. So they want us to take mail more overnight. We can easily set that up. So it's very simple. Okay. So we can take more mailboxes then. Very easy to apply, and our support team are happy to give you advice on that. And we've also detected that there's rules associated with the source system, so we're going to migrate those too. And we're done. Now that is a project set up using SkyKick. Obviously then you start the migration, the communications go out, we start the sync, capturing passwords, and that flow continues. You can monitor it. Our support team are there to assist you throughout the whole process. And again, Ingram Micro will only bill you once the project is complete, and complete means all the data has been moved across. So that's my first demo of today. Now, there's 3 versions, as I mentioned. Data only, which is very basic, small business or SMB, which I showed you, and then enterprise. And just to cover the enterprise project, the real difference on that is if it's a more complicated mail system, or if they require staging for certain mail platforms, where some users need to be moved on different days. We'd recommend you use the enterprise project there. As you can see, the small business one has a lot of features, but the enterprise one will be more useful, particularly if there's more than 250 seats as well. So that's migration. I want to talk very briefly about a second product today, cloud backup. Now, as I mentioned, Microsoft does not provide a backup for Office 365. They do provide redundancy, and people are often very, very confused about that. So redundancy means that they have data farms, they have a bunch of different sets of data centers across the world. So they have one in Dublin, they have one in Amsterdam, they have one in Tokyo, they have multiple ones in the United States, and they're opening more at the moment. If that data center goes down or has a flood or a fire or something, that data will be mirrored to another data center. That's redundancy. However, you're not protected, and neither are your customers, if someone deletes something on the source system accidentally, or worse, deliberately. And actually, as you can see from the statistic there, most data loss is actually because people delete things deliberately or accidentally. It doesn't really matter. Net result is the same. Our backup solution, once you've moved your customers to Office 365, Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, and OneDrive for Business, allows you to provide a really great ongoing service, again, via Ingram Micro at a compelling price. So we have unlimited storage, unlimited retention, and really easy use. It will help you boost your ongoing CSP business. Should double your revenue per user at least. It's very easy to do. It's all in the cloud. You can set it up in minutes. And the really cool thing is there's a variety of different models for Azure that you can use. So you can use your own Azure if you want to sell Azure. You can use our own Azure at no additional cost with unlimited storage, or you can even use the customer's Azure. It's completely up to you. And for those of you with an existing stable of Office 365 tenancies, customers that you've already moved, you can actually offer them this service as well. It's very easy to do. So, I'm going to show you our backup solution now. So I'm going back to Internet Explorer, and I'm going to open a new window. As you can see, it's there in the left-hand side navigation column. So here I can see I have a number of existing customers that I've done my backups for. I'm going to show you how easy it is to set up a new one. Now, Microsoft has also made our backup solution available to you as partners. If you have an Azure IUR credit, you can use our backup solution completely free as well. So if you are running Office 365, we strongly urge you to do that, and you can follow this process in a minute. Now, let's say we've already migrated the Dubai Ice Cream Company, and we now want to actually discover what they've got on their system. So they might have made some changes. We can do it as part of an existing migration, or you can do it as a standalone project. Today I'm going to do it as a standalone project. I'm going to find out what they've got, and I need the admin credentials to do that, and typically you will have those for your customers, of course. But I'm just copying and pasting in some things here. I'm going to validate that that's a real Office 365 tenancy with Microsoft. Done. And I'm going to choose my storage model. As I said, you could, if you want, use your own storage or charge the customer for storage. You can use this as a way to sell Office 365 if you wish to do so. Today I'm going to use SkyKick's Azure, and today I'm going to use the European data center because it's nearest to Dubai, and that's actually in the Netherlands, incidentally. Now, I can place my order right now, but I'm actually going to choose what I want to back up. So I'm going to do another discovery process on the Dubai Ice Cream Company. I'm going to choose what I want to back up. After all, some tenancies, as you know, don't include SharePoint Online or OneDrive for Business. We configured our business model to take advantage of that. So we have two SKUs in backup, Exchange Online and SharePoint Online. So I've now discovered what the customer's got. So they've got these mailboxes here. I'm going to choose not Earl. I've also discovered public folders and shared mailboxes. I'm going to choose not to back up the feedback one. I'll leave the sales one in. I can also apply some retention rules. So actually I don't want indefinite retention. I'm going to delete it after 7 years. And I'm going to add automatically any new mailboxes I discover. And now I'm going to have a look at the SharePoints, if they have any. If they don't have any, we go on to the next step, but they do here. So we found all the SharePoints and OneDrives associated with this tenancy, and I'm not going to back up a couple of these. There we go. And again, I can have a different business retention policy for these. So I'm actually going to manually add those, but I'm going to keep backups of SharePoints and OneDrives forever. I can change that if I wish to after the migration, so after the backup is placed. Having done that, I'm ready to place the order. Now, if it's for you, then you can actually type this box here and you can actually place the order. If you're transacting via Ingram Micro, you see different pricing here. We have smart pricing in Ingram Micro based on where you're located, so please ignore the $2 seat per month. It depends how you sign up. But that's how easy it is to set up a backup. Let's have a look how they work. They're really, really easy to use. So here I'm going to go into a customer. It's quite a small one, this one, but we have both large and small. We have case studies. You can access those via the SkyKick portal. I think the largest one we have is 7,500 seats, but we have hundreds of thousands of backup seats under management today, and it's increasing at an exponential rate. This is a great service, and Microsoft is recommending it, but let's see why. So you've seen how easy it is to set up. Let's see how easy it is to manage. So we've actually got backups running right now as it happens. How cool. So I can say, well, I don't want to back up this user anymore. That's it. I can search and restore a mailbox if I wish to do so. It's really, really easy. So there's a great example of this. So let's say Camille has had her mailbox deleted. I'm going to add those back into the backup actually. Normally that's a complete nightmare. With SkyKick Backup, all I have to do is select Full Mailbox Restore, and we hit Confirm. I was talking to a partner about that the other day, and they said they'd had a mailbox deleted. Now, they had something called Legal Hold, which some of you may be aware of. It's for a variety of plans, but on the enterprise side only. It's very expensive, it's very difficult to use. I said, oh, you use Legal Hold, did you? Yes, we use Legal Hold. We had to restore a customer's mailbox. This was a good team, a team who really understood Office 365. How long did it take you to restore the mailbox? 3 days was the answer. And the guy put his hand on his face. Very painful. With SkyKick, it's just a one-click process. We can also search and restore on mailboxes. I don't know if I have anything in this particular one, but I'm just going to search the word plan. And we can do a variety of different things. We can search for mails, folders, contacts, calendars. We can sort the results. I can't actually open the emails. So there's some security in that. We tread a line between discovery and ease of use. So actually there's no emails containing the word plan. There you go. But if there was, all I have to do is select it, highlight it, and hit that restore button. And it's back in the box. We have the same functionality for SharePoint. Let me see if I can find, there we go. I'll try searching all the SharePoints for, and you can see my recent searches, there you go. I have the same capabilities here. Oh, there we go, a strategy deck. Click restore, and it's back. And we've got version control there as well. We can't yet do full SharePoint restore for the processes of transparency, but we're adding that as a feature very soon. But we do have full document restore, and if a document has been deleted because a folder has been deleted, we actually restore the folder when the document's put back too. And we have the same functionality for OneDrive for Business. And if we go into the settings, we can see that we can actually change the business policies if I wish to do so. So you can see if I want to hit edit there, then I can change my retention policy for mail. I'm going to keep those for 10 years. Hit save. And that's it. Very, very simple. The even better thing about this system is if you don't want to operate this as a managed service yourself, you can actually enable a customer to, who has someone in the backup, that person can be enabled to do what I just did. And they would log into a portal with your brand on and actually do the restores. If you wish not to do that work, you can still bill them, of course, and you should. So that's our backup service. in a very brief tour. I'm doing brief because I'm running out of time. And as I mentioned, you can run it as a customer service or as a partner service, and you can choose which one you do on a customer by customer basis. Now, pricing. We have different pricing depending on the market, and these slides are, as Rajendra said, these are available for you to download and take away. We have special emerging market pricing, which is significantly cheaper than our standard pricing available to you. So across Middle East and Africa, not Turkey, I'll come to Turkey in just a second, the pricing is as follows, and it's done on a per seat basis. So for our data-only SKU, it's $10 per user. It's a one-time fee. For our migration suite, whether it's SMB or enterprise, the service I showed you earlier, up to 50 seats, it's $28 one time per user. If it's over 51 seats, it's $15.40 per user. Our backup service, very straightforward. We have a little discount on that as well. It's $1.95 per user per month for Exchange Online, and $1.95 for SharePoint and OneDrive. And there's actually a free period of backup of a month before you actually start paying. All of those services are available via Ingram Micro, of course. Now, Turkey pricing, if we have partners from Turkey, it's just a little bit different. It's 25 lira for data only, 45 for migration suite one time, and 45.51 plus. We have flat pricing there. Exchange Online backup with unlimited storage is $5.75 per user per month. SharePoint Online backup is $5.75 per licensed user of SharePoint per month as well. You can choose whether you consume one service, two services, or no services. And very importantly, all of this pricing is not shown to the customer. Your margin is protected. And as I was mentioning earlier on, there are a couple of things you can do to get started. We have a IUR program, internal use rights program with Microsoft for our cloud backup offer. So you can back up your existing Office 365 tenancy for your own internal mail system. We will check it's your mail system and not a customer's, completely free. And if you have not migrated to Office 365 yet, you can actually use our tool to migrate yourselves to Office 365, also completely free. That's a partnership we have with Microsoft, and hopefully you'll see it's quite a powerful endorsement of our tool set. And of course, support I mentioned. So we have very significant support. Our support is, we get great feedback from our partners on that, and we're here to help. How you register? Very simple. You go to SkyKick.com, you click the register link, you select Ingram Micro, very importantly. From the drop-down list, you can see it's circled down there in the center of the screen. Enter your Ingram Micro ID and your Microsoft MPN ID. You must submit a MPN ID or we will not be able to allow you to use SkyKick because we're partner only. And that makes sure that you transact, your billing goes via Ingram Micro, and you get the appropriate price. And with that, I've reached the end of my presentation. I think we have about 5 minutes for questions, so I'm going to stop now. I'm sure there will be some, and I'd be very happy to answer them. Rajvinder, would you like to moderate for us?
Sure. Yes, Robin, we have a couple of questions coming up. So we'll start with the first one. We have, per license, how much data can SkyKick migrate?
How much data?
Can SkyKick migrate?
Yeah, so we will actually, we don't have any data limit on a migration. Now, importantly, we have a flat fee, so it's a single charge per mailbox. However, you can't migrate an unlimited size mailbox into Office 365 because Microsoft themselves have per mailbox limits. Now, those keep changing. I'm not going to quote them to you now. They are on the Office 365 website. So there's a limitation there for Microsoft, but we charge you, no matter how large the mailboxes are, anything more than our standard fee.
All right, sounds great. And we have the next one saying, will SkyKick support Exchange Server on-prem at destination?
What a great question. The answer very transparently is no. And the reason for that is that while on-premise is continuing to be an important part of the mix, we're really focusing on moving customers to the cloud. Microsoft is not investing a huge amount in on-premise these days. All of their investments, all of their marketing, their teams, their engineering resources have moved into Office 365. Now, we have very deep connections with them. We're seeing what they're doing. We're seeing the opportunities coming. We've seen it in Australia and New Zealand. We've seen it in Europe especially starting in the UK a couple of years ago and spreading across Europe now. It's coming to the Middle East as well. Now, there will be situations where you want to propose Exchange Online on-premise, Exchange on-premise, but we focus on moving to Office 365. That's a significant project, and it will be, we think, for you, an increasingly important part of your mix. So, no, we don't support that. We don't plan to. Our job is to help you move people into Office 365 and then monetize them profitably afterwards.
All right, we have the next one saying, can we upload a preview email template, especially for French partners?
I'd have to understand a little bit more about what you're looking to solve for there. Be happy to do so. My email address is in the PowerPoint, or if you want to email support@skykick.com with your question, we'd be more than happy to help you with that. But that will take more time than we have today to answer, unfortunately. But we'd be happy to help.
All right, and we'll jump on to the next question. It says, support is free also if we need on-site?
No, we don't do support on-site. So very clearly, SkyKick's job, from a support perspective, is to help you in the background. This service gets delivered as your service. We support you in the background. So we don't talk to your customers, we talk to you. They're your customers. So in addition, we want to make it easier for you not to have to go out to your customers, to actually do more migrations remotely. I'll give you a increasingly common scenario. There's a guy I regularly meet at events like WPC. He does his migrations from the beach.
Wow.
So there are opportunities for you to actually change your model and actually be much more profitable and have a happier workforce. It doesn't mean you don't go to your customers. Of course you do. But you don't make the unnecessary journeys. So just to be really clear, our job is to help you look great in front of the customer and do less work and have more fun.
All right, and we have one more saying, what about the AD sync?
So we don't set that up. If you want to do that beforehand, we'd actually recommend you do configure that. Our support team can help you with advice on that, depending whether it's AD or desync, whatever. We also have a wealth of information on our support site as well to help you with that. So be happy to answer questions, and again, feel free to sign up for free on SkyKick, and you can access all that material today.
All right, sounds great. So we'll have quick poll questions running for the entire webinar, what we just conducted. So Robin, I will just switch the presenter now.
Okay.
So we have the poll questions running up. The first one goes like, do you use migration tools for Office 365? Can everyone see the screen?
Yes.
All right. We have 40% saying yes, we have 47 no, and we have some saying sometime. All right. We will move to the next one quickly. I'm sorry, there is some interruption with the signal here. Okay, we have next one saying, have you registered as a SkyKick partner? All right, we have saying 87% saying no. So I suggest quickly run through the website and register yourselves. We have the next one. Have you activated the SkyKick IUR for yourself? Okay, we'll move on to the last one. This is the quick poll result for the IUR. All right, I would suggest everybody to quickly register yourselves for SkyKick under their site as a partner and activate the IUR for yourselves. And we have the last poll question to run up. What additional help do you need to start selling SkyKick?
Richard, can I make an observation on that once people poll?
Sure, sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so we have the result for this poll, and we'll definitely look forward into it, and we will make sure that we conduct the necessary webinars to help you for the same. So that's about it for the webinar today, and I really thank Robin to take out time and help us go through the deck and provide his valuable insights for the webinar.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you all for your time today. Thank you, Ravinder, for inviting us. And of course, we'd be happy to help you moving forward. I will not be your main contact moving forward, but that'll be Catherine Sadukas, and Ravinder has her contact details. She's just on holiday this week. I'm just helping out. But thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you, everyone, for joining the webinar.
Thank you. Good afternoon.